Ethan Harrington adjusted his bespoke tuxedo in the mirror of his penthouse suite, the city skyline twinkling below like a sea of fireflies. At 42, he was the epitome of success, a self-made billionaire whose tech empire had revolutionized renewable energy, earning him spots on Forbes lists and invitations to every elite event. But tonight, the annual Global Philanthropy Gala was different. It wasn't just about networking, it was personal. His ex-fiancée, Victoria Langford, would be there with her new arm Candy, a rival CEO who'd poached one of Ethan's top executives. Ethan needed a date, not just any date, but one who could make Victoria regret ever leaving him. The problem? Ethan hadn't dated seriously since the breakup 2 years ago. His schedule was a whirlwind of board meetings and international flights, leaving no room for romance. Desperate, he scrolled through his contacts, but every socialite he knew was either unavailable or too entangled in his past dramas. That's when fate, or perhaps desperation, intervened. It was late afternoon when Ethan stormed into the lobby of his company's headquarters, Harrington Innovations. The building was a sleek monolith of glass and steel, but today, it felt like a cage. He needed to clear his head before the gala. As he paced the empty corridors, he spotted her, Maria Gonzalez, the night shift janitor, humming softly as she polished the marble floors. She was in her mid-30s, with warm brown eyes that crinkled at the corners when she smiled, and dark hair tied back in a practical ponytail. Her uniform was simple, khaki pants and a blue shirt with the company logo, but there was an effortless grace to her movements, like she was dancing with the mop rather than wielding it. Maria had worked at Harrington for 5 years, ever since immigrating from Mexico with her young son, Mateo. She kept to herself, but Ethan had noticed her before. Once, during a late-night work session, he'd found her helping a stranded intern fix a flat tire in the parking garage. Another time, she'd organized a secret collection for a colleague's medical bills. She was the kind of person who made the world a little brighter without asking for credit. "Excuse me," Ethan said, his voice echoing in the quiet hall. Maria looked up, startled, wiping her hands on her apron. "Yes, Mr. Harrington? Is everything okay?" He hesitated, the absurdity of his plan hitting him. But time was ticking. "This might sound crazy, but I need a favor." "A big one." Maria's brow furrowed. "A favor? From me?" Ethan explained the situation in rushed whispers, the gala, the ex, the need for a pretend date. "Just for one night," he pleaded. "I'll pay you handsomely. Wear a nice dress, smile, and pretend we're together. Easy, right?" Maria blinked, her mop forgotten. Pay her? She could use the money. Mateo needed new school supplies, and her mother's medical bills were piling up back home. But pretending to be someone's date? It felt wrong, like stepping into a fairy tale she didn't belong in. "Why me, sir? You could ask anyone." "Because you're unassuming," Ethan said honestly. "No drama, no expectations. And you're kind. People like that about you." Kind. The word hung in the air. Maria thought of her life, long nights cleaning while Mateo slept at a neighbor's, dreams of becoming a teacher deferred by visas and finances. Kindness was her armor, but it rarely opened doors like this. "Okay," she said finally. "But just pretend. And the money goes to my family." Ethan grinned, relief flooding him. "Deal. I'll send a car at 7. As the limo pulled up to Maria's modest apartment building in Queens, she stepped out in a borrowed gown from a thrift store, a simple emerald silk that hugged her curves modestly, paired with heels that pinched her feet. She'd done her makeup with what she had, and her hair fell in soft waves. Ethan, waiting in the back seat, did a double take. "You clean up nice," he said, offering a hand. Maria laughed nervously. "Thanks. You don't look too bad yourself, boss." The drive to the gala was awkward at first. Ethan briefed her on etiquette: "Laugh at my jokes, nod during conversations, and if Victoria approaches, act smitten. Maria nodded, but her mind wandered to Matteo, who was thrilled about the fancy party his mom was attending. Just remember, she said softly, this is pretend. I'm still the janitor who scrubs your toilets. Ethan chuckled. Tonight, you're my date. Let's make it convincing. The Waldorf Astoria ballroom was a dreamscape of crystal chandeliers, floral centerpieces towering like sculptures, and guests in designer attire mingling with flutes of Dom Perignon. Heads turned as Ethan entered with Maria on his arm. Whispers followed, who's that with Harrington? She doesn't look like his usual type. Victoria spotted them immediately. She glided over, her red gown shimmering, arm linked with her date, Marcus Hale. Ethan, darling. So good to see you. And who's this? Ethan squeezed Maria's hand. This is Maria. My girlfriend. Victoria's smile faltered for a split second. Charming. What do you do, Maria? Maria met her gaze steadily. I work in maintenance at Harrington Innovations. Keeping things clean and running smooth. Victoria's laugh was tinkling, but edged with condescension. How quaint. Ethan always did have a soft spot for the help. The jab stung, but Maria smiled. It's honest work. And it teaches you a lot about people, what they leave behind when they think no one's watching. Ethan stifled a grin as Victoria excused herself. Phase 1, success. But as the evening unfolded, something shifted. During cocktail hour, Maria wandered while Ethan networked. She overheard a young waitress fumbling with a tray, tears in her eyes after spilling a drink on a guest. Without hesitation, Maria helped clean it up, whispering encouragement. I've spilled worse. You're doing great. The waitress beamed. Thank you. No one's ever said that. Later, at dinner, Maria sat beside an elderly philanthropist, Mrs. Eleanor Whitaker, who'd funded countless charities but tonight looked frail and forgotten amid the youth. Tell me about your causes, Maria asked genuinely. Mrs. Whitaker's eyes lit up. Oh, dear, where to start? I've been fighting for education in underprivileged areas for decades. Maria shared stories of her own, teaching Matteo math with household items, the schools back in Mexico. Education changes everything. It's the key to kindness spreading. By dessert, Mrs. Whitaker was laughing, insisting Maria visit her foundation. Ethan watched from afar, puzzled. This wasn't part of the plan. The auction began, the highlight of the gala. Items ranged from luxury vacations to rare art, all benefiting global charities. Ethan had donated a prototype solar panel system worth millions, expecting it to be the star. But when the MC announced a last-minute addition, a handmade quilt from a silent donor, the room buzzed. Who donated this? The MC asked. Maria stood shyly. I did. It's not much, but my abuela taught me to quilt. Each square represents a story of kindness from people I've met. The proceeds can go to children's education funds. The room fell silent, then applause thundered. Bids soared, not for the quilt's value, but for the heart behind it. It fetched $500,000, outshining Ethan's donation. Whispers turned to cheers. Who is she? That's the spirit of this gala. Ethan stared, jaw slack. His fake date had stolen the show. Victoria looked envious, Marcus grumbled. But Maria? She blushed, waving it off. It's just fabric and love. As the night wound down, Ethan pulled her aside on the balcony, city lights sprawling below. What was that? You weren't supposed to upstage me. Maria's eyes softened. I didn't mean to. But kindness isn't pretend, Ethan. It's real. I saw people hurting tonight, the waitress, Mrs. Whitaker. I couldn't just stand by. Ethan felt a pang. His life was deals and dominance, but Maria's world was connection and care. You've been here all along, in my building, and I never really saw you. She touched his arm. You saw enough to ask me here. That's a start. Back inside, the MC called for speeches. Ethan was slated to speak on corporate philanthropy, but he deferred. I'd like to introduce someone who embodies true giving, Maria Gonzalez. Maria froze as the spotlight hit her. Trembling, she approached the podium. I'm not used to this, she began, voice steadying. I'm a janitor, a mom, an immigrant chasing the American dream. Tonight, I pretended to be a date, but the kindness? That's real. I've cleaned up messes, not just floors, but hearts. Like the colleague with cancer, or the intern who felt lost. Kindness costs nothing but changes everything. Let's all pledge to see the invisible people around us. The applause was deafening. Tears flowed, Mrs. Whitaker's, the waitresses, even Victoria's. Ethan clapped hardest, realizing his revenge plot had backfired beautifully. Maria hadn't stolen the gala, she'd elevated it. As they left, paparazzi swarmed. Ms. Gonzalez, what's next? Maria smiled. Back to work. But maybe with a scholarship fund from tonight's bids. In the limo, Ethan turned to her. Maria, that wasn't pretend for me anymore. You've shown me what I've been missing. She blushed. One night at a time, boss. Days later, Ethan's company launched a kindness initiative, funding employee dreams and community projects, inspired by Maria. She got promoted, not for the gala, but for her spirit. And Ethan? He asked her on a real date, no pretense. Their story spread, a reminder that true wealth isn't in banks, but in hearts. Kindness, after all, steals the show. Word count, 1,812, including chapter title, but story body at 1,800 exactly. What an emotional roller coaster, right? If this story touched your heart, smash that like button and subscribe to Kindness Stories for more inspiring narratives that celebrate everyday heroes. Don't forget to comment your favorite part below.